motherfuckers.
Ooh.
Welcome to the red light district.
Oh,
Hookers
shit.
everywhere. No,
oh,
welcome into Out of Rhythm Fantasy Sports. Jamie, it's Tuesday.
shit. Is it Tuesday?
Yes, sir. Yep. Do a little dance.
Get drunk tonight? Mm-hmm.
Yep, bro. Yep. Got some Patron and OJ.
Oh, yeah.
Up. Jamie must have gone off the wagon. He's got some
Yeah.
ghosts.
Got that right.
Man.
All right, well.
What a week one. Goddamn, man. It seems like we were just here. Actually, we were just Sunday.
Yeah, right.
Our league stuff.
We're just in different areas now, right?
Yeah. Weren't you two just side by side a couple days ago? Yeah. It happens.
Yeah. That's about right.
Time to come. You know. Last night I was a little surprised with that Seattle game, but it's time to come down. It's time to come down a little bit, and then the haters are gonna be like, "Didn't you say Russ was gonna win MVP?" That doesn't mean he still won't. Russ got 16 games to figure this out. I'm not concerned.
Yep.
I ain't fretting.
Yeah, I'm actually today I'm a little out of it today. So
I see that. Usually we have a little drinky poo to spice you up a little bit, but we'll have to use other methods tonight. Yeah, fix that camera.
For sure. Yeah. Right. Oh wait, it's more like this, really.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
Yeah. Just one of those days, I guess. I mean, I was actually trying to get some notes done for the show today. I was kind of ran out of time breaking down some of the statistics on games and snap percentages and stuff like that. I was kind of in the process of working on that and it got pulled away. So it's kind of like,
didn't some shady ass shit go down at your store last night?
Yeah. Well, God, I swear to God. Well, one of I shouldn't say one of my coworkers, a employee at the place I do work. I swear to freaking God, he actually unlocks the cart entrance doors to go outside to actually have a cigarette. I'm like, dude, what the hell? Like, because I mean, I was machining over on the other side, kind of toward the eatery entrances and stuff like that, and it didn't really dawn on me because I seen these two idiots come walking through the entrance, and I'm like, okay, and next thing you know, freaking, I have some odd guy from outside just come in the store. He had blood in his chin and whatnot. So I'm like, what the hell, dude? And he was all kind of like,
"This is a fucking grocery store. This isn't the UFC. What the hell is this?"
I know, right? So it was very odd and strange because I'm like, I'm just I looked at the paper quick and I was kind of, I seen somebody else come in. I'm like, I was gonna say, do you work here? I guess you never really noticed. And he went in, and I mentioned to one of these other guys in the back that's just because he came through the entrance, and he was just like, it was odd and weird because nothing made sense to me. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And well, these morons went out the side door. He actually let someone in. I'm like, David, there's somebody you let, it's pretty much somebody came in through the entrance doors, and it's supposedly he's like, oh, they must have locked him or something like that. But that guy is on meth and he's got issues and whatnot. But it kind of is what it is.
We need a high on meth button.
Right?
Freaking idiot. No.
Well, yeah. Anyways, long story short, this kid, whoever came in the store, he actually he hid behind the women's entrance door, and and so we had at least 5 cops show up, ambulance and everything, and I don't know if they hauled this guy off, but
was he smelling some tampons in the women's bathroom too?
Shit, dude. Honestly, I don't know, but it's just like, what the hell, man? It was messed up because I was just minding my own business, and and then he got got put in the ambulance and went.
And we say bye-bye.
That totally. Well, enough about this whack job. See anything with college football this weekend? There was a couple great games. I know you were mentioning off air. You're talking Utah laid the smackdown 73-7, and Iowa State was kind of a snoozer, but Iowa.
I was going to say that game was going to be almost seemed like it's going to be another low scoring game, because I was like, what the hell, man? This doesn't make no sense. And like, I figured Iowa State would have been 10 times better than. I know, right? I figured they would have like started tossing the ball, smoking these guys down the field, and no, it was only like a 10-7 game. I'm like, dude, this was another freaking South Dakota repeat. I'm like, what the hell, man?
They need to get your boy Drake May from UNC. They need to get him up to Iowa and start throwing football. Shit, right? Stop running a freaking 1965 offense. Jesus.
I know, right?
I saw Bama and Texas, though. That was a great finish. Alabama won with like a last-second field goal, 2019.
Yeah.
But I think Georgia took over the number 1 spot, though, so Bama dropped to 2. A couple other good games. BYU beat Baylor 26-20. I saw Tennessee and Pitt went to overtime. It's 34-27. That was another good game. There's quite a good. I had it on in the background. I was doing some work outside and had it out in the garage, and so that was interesting, man. I was like, is Sunday going to be as good? And damn it, it almost was, man. We were covering a lot of it during our live stream, and so it was great. Great weekend. This weekend won't be as good. I don't see a lot of good matchups. The best matchup I saw was BYU and Oregon, top 25.
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to look. I know UNC is on bye. I think there was a couple other guys on bye too offhand. I couldn't remember offhand. I just know that. And then the other game I kind of watched. I watched a little bit of the Appalachian. I didn't watch Appalachian. That Auburn game. I watched that a little bit, and then I actually watched the Oregon State. I actually watched the Beavers. I actually watched that game a little bit. That was kind of a back and forth game until actually I think they went into overtime. And then finally the Beavers actually flung a field goal in and actually won. So I was kind of happy about that.
Yeah, no, I didn't catch any of that, but I do think one of these times, man, we always talk about checking out NFL games. I think we need to freaking fly out to Boone, North Carolina, and go check out Appalachian State, because there's especially during the fall time, man. This stadium looks badass. I think you sent me a picture of kind of the foliage, when it's going on in the fall time. Yeah, that'd be a badass game to check. Appalachian State's doing great this year too.
I think I know I've seen another kind of thing too, where I don't know if it was Appalachian or something. There was going to be one of their main running QBs was coming back. I can't remember which team it was. I was trying to figure out who and what, and I was trying to remember like where and whatnot, but I couldn't remember offhand. I'm like, shit. So I know I was going to be looking at him for like maybe a
looking for him
guy down the road. Right?
Stupid. But one more thing, because we're probably boring you guys with these scores. I don't care. It has to get in there somehow. Scott Frost, who people might remember back in the day, was Nebraska's quarterback in like the 90s when Nebraska was actually relevant, and they weren't the they weren't the worst program in the Big Ten. So they shit canned him. He went I think he went 16-31. So not a good record. He was great at Central Florida, dude. He had like a 13-0 season, I think, in 2018. I mean, he was a damn good coach there, and brought him up to Nebraska. And from what I saw, man, they have a top 3 quarterback in passing yards. They have the second highest running back with yardage and touchdowns in the country. So I mean, they got some offensive weapons. So I don't know if the problem was on the defense or what happened there, but I remember us growing up, man, we're from South Dakota. Like Nebraska was the program, and now it just seems like it's
most definitely.
What do you think?
I mean, I liked Nebraska when because they had Tommy Frazier and freaking
Lawrence
Scott
Phillips
and whatnot. They had They had another good who's that running back that was who's in prison now? That was in,
I mentioned Lawrence Phillips.
Yes, yep. Yeah, I mean, he was a stout guy, and then he ended up being dumb and took his ass to prison. So it's like, oh, come on, man. But yeah,
we're both wearing red, so it's Nebraska solidarity here on the Out of Rhythm show. That's well. Hey, man. I saw some stuff going on, and I was like,
Ooh, excuse me. Had to
saw
sneeze,
some
man.
I saw some stuff going on. I saw that happening, and my crystal ball. I saw that sneeze happening. I would have offered you a Kleenex had I been there, but this is Out of Rhythm. I think I've said that like 10 times now. It's okay. It's all right. Yeah, it's one of those nights, Jamie. I think we just need to get in to some damn waivers and some of these players, some of these guys to check out because week 2 is coming. Week 2 is 2 days away.
I know, right?
Enough of college football. Where's that? Where's that at? Here's my paper crumple. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Now it looks right. There we go. Out of here.
All right. I mean, I guess waiver wires is it's
on.
It's on like Donkey Kong, bitch.
Yeah. All right. Well, so pretty much let's kind of break some of these down here quick. Well, the other quick headline news quick here is Rodrigo.
Oh yeah, we gotta get the headlines.
I mean, I don't. Oh yeah. Well,
where's my mind at tonight, Jamie? Maybe I need another shot. You should probably hold on.
Well, quickly, Rico Blankenship, he had a waiver. I guess it must have been from his couldn't make that field goal. So we're like, yep, see you later.
The fuck is wrong with people?
Yeah, they let him. They released him today. I'm like, what?
Oh fuck!
I'm like, no way, dude. I'm like, that's
I'm echoing bad, dude. In your there we go.
It's probably your settings, man. It's probably
your settings. It's your fault.
No,
it's your fault.
It's yours.
It's your fault. It's your fault. Blankenship isn't on somebody's fantasy team too, because I don't get it. People overreact Monday. People lose their shit. The guy misses a kick, and then it's like cut him. He was a top 5 PPR kicker going into the season, and I don't know. I think people are overreacting to that. Blankenship. Blankenship's a top 12. I mean, he's a top 12, if not top 16, top 12 fantasy kicker. No matter what the situation is.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But I guess. With I don't know. Hold on. I think I got
we're shitting the bed tonight. We're just
this is what
I think I'm gonna go back. I think I'm gonna go back in the red light district quick. There we go.
Well, this is what the Colts actually said to Blankenship. We're not interested.
Yeah, we're like probably 20 previous women have told me, not interested.
Yeah, well, more likely because it's very horrible. He was in
denied.
Anyways, let's that was kind of the other quick headline.
That Vader choke.
All right. See, Dallas lost Dak for a little while for about 6 to 8 weeks. He's not going on the IR or anything like that from what I was heard. So pretty much Cooper Kupp is the backup. They'll probably bring up
Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush.
Did I say Cooper Kupp?
So, well, it's not going to matter anyway. They could have Amari Cooper at quarterback. It's not going to matter. This team is done. Yeah. Put us. I know you love them, dude, but put a fork in them. You're looking 3-14, dead in the eye. This is. I'm sorry. They had trouble moving the football with Dak, but the fact that he's out 6 to 8 weeks, like Cooper Rush, They cut everybody else. We were talking about that on the show a couple weeks ago. Like, what the hell are they doing?
Yeah.
They cut Ben DiNucci, cut Will Greer. Cooper Rush, they probably brought back from the practice squad. I don't even know if this team had a backup.
Well, yeah, they cut him, and then they had Rush and Will Greer on the practice squad. So they're gonna probably bring up Will Greer for a couple weeks now. So he'll probably backing up, Rush if he, To me, I honestly, let's go trade for Jimmy. Let's go trade for Jimmy.
Get Jimmy.
But that won't happen. That won't happen.
Because you overpaid this guy. You overpaid Dak. He's not. I know that's kind of the market now because all the top 10 quarterbacks are making $40 million now. I get it, but this guy's not worth the money. I think Jimmy G's better. Jimmy's better. He's more proven in the playoffs. I know he has his own injury issues. I get it, but I mean, you're pretty much stuck with Dak. And
oh yeah, we are.
He's not. I don't know. The guy's 29 years old, and he has an injury history. There's a lot of other younger guys like Herbert, Allen, Lamar. There's a lot of other younger guys that I'd rather have. I'd rather have Kyler Murray, and I'm not a Kyler Murray fan. So I mean, I can name 10 guys right now I'd rather have than Dak Prescott. But I mean, this offense is in trouble. And if anybody has CeeDee Lamb out there, if you spent a high pick on him, which was totally justifiable because, a consensus top 10 PPR receiver, no question, CeeDee Lamb. I mean, he's gonna take the biggest hit, I think, because Rush is gonna, he's gonna hit the tight end. Dalton Schultz is still gonna get targets because that's what young inexperienced quarterbacks aren't very good. That's what they do. They hit the backs. They hit, short in routes. They hit the tight end. They hit all the easy stuff, RPOs. So I don't see Dalton Schultz taking a big hit, but yeah, definitely CeeDee Lamb. And they don't have any other threat on the outside. So if I'm a defense, I'm doubling up CD. And I'm like, you know what, Turpin, you beat me. Tolbert, you beat me. And I think Tolbert's banged up too, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I tried finding out any information on why he would just. I guess it was just a healthy start or something, or health. They just, they just scratched him. I was like, what? So I wasn't quite sure. I tried figuring out what was going on with him to figure out why he did not play. I actually forgot he was in my sleeper league. I actually left him in the lineup, and I still won my matchup. How that's freaking that's unrare to have for that to happen. But either way, don't go off and drop CeeDee Lamb.
No,
I mean, he's gonna be don't go off and drop him. He's gonna be he'll probably be he won't be a top 5, but maybe he'll be more likely a between top 10 to top 20-ish player now since the quarterback has dipped quite a bit. I mean, he'll still get some play. He'll still get some catches. He will still be their number 1 guy. But over that, don't drop him. Don't drop Pollard. It's just going to be this. Numbers are going to be a little bit less than what they were projected to be, really.
This is what happens when shit hits the fan. And this cowboy talk it's awoken me, Jamie. I'm feeling, I was a little lethargic there to start off the episode, but I'm awake, man. I've been waiting. Yeah, dude, I've been waiting 2 nights to talk about Dallas because I was watching that Tampa Bay game, and then I saw what transpired with Dak. Because I want Mike. Dude, I want what's best for your guys' franchise. This is exactly what needed to happen. You need a 3-14 season to get rid of that idiot Mike McCarthy and bring in Sean Payton. That's what you guys need.
More than likely.
You would fix all these problems next year if Sean Payton was your head coach.
Jared, you're the shit.
Yeah, Jared, how about them Cowboys?
God, can I just punch you through the screen right now?
This is I'm enjoying this, man. It's never gonna get old. What is this, like the 3rd or 4th time in a row we beat you?
No, it's funny because they were actually bringing up how Brady is actually like the Cowboys the Cowboys haven't beaten Brady ever since he's been in the league. So it's kind of like, but. Well, if you think about it,
how does my ass taste, Jamie?
Not that great, so shut up.
I thought
But no,
Jared would have another smart comment there, but I guess not.
The Cowboys did. I mean, the defense kind of held up to a point, but I mean, our defense can't do everything. I mean, it was a very low scoring game, 19 to like 3 or 10. I can't remember the score offhand, but I mean, other than that, I mean, freaking Buccaneers were able to kind of get us deep, and that's where a lot of that ended up happening. But other than that, it's kind of it is what it is. But let's kind of get into some of these other quick way. Let's get into some of these other guys. A lot of these other guys with Elijah, Elijah Mitchell.
It's a great name. Yeah, he got
Yes.
hurt. Yeah, he got hurt.
Yep.
I think, no, question is, are they going to go with Jeff Wilson? Because Jeff Wilson's available in a ton of leagues for these
Yep.
guys. And then they have some other guy I never heard of that was just activated. It's got a weird.
So pretty much, a lot of people are going to be covered or putting claims in for Jefferson. Put claims in for Jefferson. I guess. What kind of guy would you drop for Jefferson? I guess what kind of person like would you drop for Wilson if you need somebody like him?
I think Pierce from Houston. I think that's so like if he's on your bench, or I think Rex Burkhead surprisingly is going to get a lot of the touches this year, and you never would have thought that. I mean, sexy Rexy. I mean, he's been kind of a backup running back his entire career, but Houston's so bad on both sides of the ball. I don't know how they tied Indy. I mean, Indy shit the bed there, but so yeah, Pierce, running back from Houston. That's somebody I would drop.
Probably
like a receiver. I'm thinking if you have what's the kid's name from Tennessee?
Burks?
Not Traylon Burks. Akeem Westbrook. Yeah, Akeem Westbrook. Like I know he's available in a lot of leagues. I'd drop somebody like him. I'd drop
well, I'm just kind of more likely like guys that are on your roster right now.
My bench. Yeah, I'm trying to think of guys on my bench that I would like cut bait with and not think twice about it.
So I would like
Tolbert, Jalen. Hey, we were just talking Jalen Tolbert. I would drop Jalen Tolbert to go and get somebody like Jeff Wilson. I'm not. I don't think Dallas is going to do much through the air this year, and if it is, like I said, it's going to be CD and it's going to be Dalton Schultz. There's not going to be a lot of other room for other guys. So Jalen Tolbert, I'd drop right now. It's kind of moving around. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, maybe.
So
maybe I hate to say it, but maybe Van Jefferson, because I don't know how healthy he's going to be, and I think they like that McCutcheon kid. I think it's going to be a lot of Allen Robinson and Cooper Kupp, and so I don't know how active. And I'm a fan of Van Jefferson, obviously. Moving on up, I came up with that, but Van Jefferson maybe. So there's some guys. Yeah, there's some guys I'd be willing to give up because Jeff Wilson is going to be getting touched. I think Jeff Wilson could have a couple. Shanahan he falls in and out of love with running backs, like that. So. But you take advantage of Jeff Wilson while you can, especially if you've had one of these backs that's been hurt. Or Elijah Mitchell. If you had Elijah Mitchell, it's a perfect guy to plug in. Same offense, same amount of touches. He's probably going to get some receiving yards. Go get whatever you got to do to get Jeff Wilson. Absolutely, put in. If you're like in Yahoo, our thing is like a $300 credit. You're giving $300 throughout the entire year. Maybe put $40 down on Wilson. Make sure early in the year I'm willing to spend more money because you want to lock down certain guys like Hardman from the Chiefs. I'd be willing to put $50 down on him. There's certain guys that I think are going to have big years that you if they're available early in this, you go snatch them up. Other guys are going to be competing and they're going to put bids in too. So to make sure you get your guy, you got to spend a little bit. I was the same idiot that put in $300 last year. So I got my guy. It didn't really work out. I don't even know where he's at now. The Saints tight end that had the big week 1.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
He's probably cleaning dishes at IHOP or something. But so I don't know.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
what about you? What are your thoughts on some of these guys? Wilson and some of these other guys that
well,
are.
so Wilson, Wilson, I would drop for a guy like James Cooks because he didn't do anything. I would drop James Cooks. I mean, if you got
Give it a
Ahan
couple.
Haskins from the Titans, I would drop him for Wilson. I made some claims for a couple of these guys. I can give you a quick hands. I pretty much put in claims for Burkhead, for Ahan, for I'm pretty much dropping Haskins and for Burkhead. I'm going to try to get Curtis Samuels, and I'm dropping Brevin Jordan. I didn't know because I just needed a tight end. I had Tunyon from the Packers, so I pretty much I'm going to try to pick up Samuels. But those are kind of some guys. I mean, I also put in some claims and a couple other guys too. I'm trying to remember offhand who I put some claims in for, but I know James Cooks is one guy I would drop. A lot of these other guys that really didn't really do anything. Pierce, maybe I would probably drop him for Pierce just because Pierce wasn't involved really at all. I think he was maybe Tyler Algier too. Tyler Algier.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So I mean, I would drop him for a guy like him because you don't know because Patterson's gonna be more of the main guy. So that would be a guy I would probably drop. Because I kind of mentioned Samuel. Samuel's he's kind of having a heyday. So I guess it really comes down to a guy in your roster that you might want to, if you're able to drop him, or a guy you don't like.
No, but let's not. There's a lot of overreaction to week one. We just talked about that with Blankenship, and you brought him up. You brought up James Cook from Buffalo. I think the kid. I mean, everybody said they loved him throughout training camp and preseason. I wouldn't have cut bait with him, or I wouldn't cut bait with him quite yet. If he's still struggling week 7, week 8, yeah, get rid of him. But I think he's got a higher ceiling than Zach Moss. Singletary's not that great. So, I mean, you'll be the smart guy in the league if week 11, you've been stashing him away on your bench, and all of a sudden, James Cook is getting 80-yard, 1 touchdown like rushing games, and then you're like, wow, Buffalo started running the football, So yeah. There's certain guys I wouldn't cut bait with, this early. Blankenship, obviously Cook, and then there's certain guys I wouldn't overreact to. OJ Howard is one of them. Like I said, I Johnson last year for the Saints. I mean, I fell in love with him after week 1. It bit me in the ass. I'll be honest. Like, he had 2 touchdowns. Same here with OJ Howard. Dude, he was a Buccaneer for a lot of years, and I don't think he's Cordero Patterson. I don't think he's going to go somewhere and magically become, a top 20 player at his position. I don't see it. I don't see a 10 touchdowns. I don't even see a 5 touchdown season from this guy. I think OJ Howard was a week 1 wonder, which there tends to be a lot of them in the NFL. There's guys that pop that we overreact to, that we're like, damn, we like Duvernay from Buffalo, or Duvernay from Baltimore. Do you think Duvernay is going to have a 10 touchdown season? Absolutely not. Rashad Bateman is their number 1. Mark Andrews is 1A, if not the number 1, and then Bateman's 1A, and then likely the tight end. They'll be working him in too. So I don't see Duvernay having this monster season. He's a week 1 wonder. Duvernay's another guy that's available too. So Duvernay, Rex Burkhead, I think he's going to be solid throughout. Rex Burkhead, he's worth investing in, I think. I picked him up in one of our leagues, or at least put in. I actually started in week 1 because I had to. I had J.K. Dobbins was out in our 16-man league. So, there's certain guys that you don't overreact to, and certain guys that, like Rex Burkhead, I'd go grab. I think he's going to have a solid year. I don't think he just popped week 1. I think that's going to be a consistent. But there's certain guys you're going to overreact to. So, what are your thoughts on that, though?
On Burkhead?
Just over, like, how people, like, just fantasy players in general overreact to 1 week, especially week 1, because that's our first.
Most definitely
exposure to a lot of these guys. Like,
I mean, there's some guys you can probably draw. I mean, Cook is one. Isaiah Spiller would be another guy. I know there's a few other guys I'm trying to think of offhand that I would totally drop. I mean, Tyler Algier, I probably would drop him. Maybe a guy like Zamar White. I mean, it's, some of those guys are kind of the backups, but maybe not drop a lot of those guys either. I mean, White, maybe not. I would maybe kind of hold on to him just to see. what happens. Like KJ Hamler would be a guy. I drafted him. I may, he didn't do anything. He didn't even get any targets or anything like that. So I'm like, I would probably drop. I would probably drop a guy like him.
I think,
For,
yeah, actually,
like, like
go ahead.
I guess I was trying to say like KJ Hamler. I would drop him for a lot of these top Dotson, Samuel, maybe even Sterling Shepard. I mean, Sterling Shepard he actually was on the field for just a little bit of targets he got. He did a lot with them, and I'm a Shepard fan. I'd tell you to go get Shepard.
Sterling Shepard to me is that echo again. No, Sterling Shepard to me, dude. He's a guy. you remember the fire extinguisher that was in the glass? Break as in case of emergency. That's Sterling Shepard. Dude, I trust him to play maybe 4 or 5 games a year. I don't trust this guy's health. He gets hurt all the time. He's going to have weeks where he pops. He did that. He's done that the last couple years. I mean, Sterling definitely capable of occasionally putting up a 100-yard game. I mean, he will do that. He's a great deep threat, but I don't trust him consistently. So I would. He's more of a DFS guy, honestly. If I find out that week 9 Sterling is playing that week, I'm going to throw him in my DFS lineup. Absolutely, I'm going to try to make some money. But in terms of trusting him over the course of a season, yeah, I mean user discretion advised. Just gonna say that.
Oh wait, well, honestly, I think you just.
I want you to pray, son. Go ahead.
Pray, son.
I'm
Pray for daddy.
On, I think Sterling he's finally healthy. He had that Achilles injury. I think he's finally kind of healthy. So he's going to be their lead target guy. Even though they got freaking Wandale Johnson and Kadarius. Yep. So it's just one of those things. It's going to be kind of hard. It's going to be kind of hard to kind of. That's why I was going to try to break down some of that stuff. But as far as I know, I think Sterling was actually on snap count or on the field a little bit more than a lot of the other guys were.
No, he's got a rapport with Daniel Jones, but I don't see the Giants keeping this up. I mean, Saquon went off for like 160 and a touchdown week. This was like a perfect situation for the Giants. I mean, Saquon was healthy going off. Daniel Jones actually looked decent. Sterling Shepard was out catching passes. It's like all's right with the world until the injuries happen because it's inevitable. It's inevitable.
Well, in that game. Shepard was actually the better guy. He was targeted 4 times, but he caught two out of those for 71 yards for one, for a touchdown. Galladay, he was targeted twice, 22 yards. Tony, he didn't even get a catch. He only had a carry, 2 carries for 23 yards. Robinson, he had one reception for 5 yards. So it's just kind of like it kind of gives and tells to kind of show where Shepard will probably the go-to guy. Maybe Galladay is going to be the second guy, and then kind of mix in Tony and Wandale Robinson a little bit. But that's just me though.
I don't trust this team. I mean, Philly's got and Washington's actually in contention too if Carson Wentz keeps this up, which is another guy we were going to get to is how is Carson Wentz not on a roster? Seriously, in the 12-man league Jamie's in and that I do commentary for, somehow Carson Wentz is not at least somebody's backup. I mean, this is egregious, man. This is ridiculous. Carson Wentz, he's about ready to tear the Lions up this week. He tore Jacksonville up last week. I mean, he's great against bad teams. Carson Wentz he's always taking advantage of his competition. I mean, I don't trust him going up against San Francisco's defense. I think he's going to do some stupid things. But this week against Detroit's defense, I don't see why he couldn't put up another decent, maybe 270, 2 or 3 touchdown kind of game. He's totally capable, especially against a bad Detroit defense. But he's available. There's some guys that I'm like, how is he available? Like Carson Wentz he's number 1 at the list. Like, how is he at least not a backup? How is he not one of the best? If you're in a 12-man, how is he not one of the best 24 fantasy quarterbacks out there? To me at least, I don't get it.
Well, yeah, well, Wentz in smaller leagues, probably. I mean, he'll be out there in smaller leagues. Maybe 12 to 14, 16 deeper leagues. He more likely will be rostered, especially even 2 QB leagues. He'll be rostered in a lot of those. So if you think about a lot of these smaller leagues, he won't be rostered at all. I mean, he'll be out there. I'm sure somebody was not happy with one of their QBs. I mean, other than that, I mean, I would take a risk on him, especially if they're playing the Lions. Why not?
What?
Why not take a chance on him, see what happens?
And especially if you had Dak Prescott. If Prescott's down and you think your season, I'm done. My fantasy season's over. My quarterback gone. Go and get Carson Wentz now. Make it happen. Carson Wentz is at least, honestly, I don't think there's much of a drop off between him and Dak. I really don't. I think Dak's, in terms of being a quarterback, Dak's a better quarterback. But fantasy wise, I don't think there's that big of a dip. So you could kind of salvage your season if you get a guy like Carson, and he's available for free. What do you want to bring? You want to bring Joe Flacco in? You want to start? You want to start freaking Jared Goff? I mean, come on. There's worse options out there than Carson Wentz. And like Jamie was saying, like smaller leagues, maybe it's debatable, but in bigger leagues, it's no question, especially if you had Dak. I mean, unless your backup is somebody like maybe I think he's better than Matt Ryan at this point too. Like if you had Dak and Matt Ryan or something, like I think Wentz starts now. You pick him up and you start him Sunday. Absolutely.
Yeah, they're playing. So a couple of the other couple guys, Hardman out there. I think we did kind of mention Wilson. John Dotson, get it. I'm sure it'll be between.
Get in early on Dotson.
Yeah, I have Dotson in some leagues too, and I was kind of happy that so I was kind of happy with that. So Samuel and Dotson, I would, it depends on your roster. I'm trying to think of guys who you would drop for.
For Dotson or Wentz, or who are you talking about?
Well, even Dotson. I was just trying to think of some guys offhand that you would drop because I was just trying to look at my roster here, I guess.
Yeah, let me
take it just depends. I mean, it kind of gives you an idea. I mean, Christian Watson, I
drop him now to go get Dotson. Absolutely. Christian Watson, that whole that was a joke. And I know everybody on social media is ripping the Packers, right? As they should. But I don't see, maybe against a worse. I mean, Vikings don't have a great defense, but maybe against Detroit's defense, he lights them up or something, and I'm eating a plate of shit or something. I don't see it this year. I don't see Christian Watson. And if anything, if a rookie's going to go off for Green Bay, it's going to be Dubs. And I think a lot of people have picked Dubs up. I would drop Christian Watson right now to go get Jahan Dotson. Absolutely. Make it happen.
Even if you have guys are like Barrios. If you're in a deeper league, if Barrios was a guy, Barrios from the Jets, I would drop him for Samuel.
Yep.
Maybe even Crowder. I even drop Crowder for Samuel. So I mean, those are just some ideas. Gives you guys a good idea that who to kind of drop for. Even KJ Hamler. I would drop him for somebody like him.
My question is this though, because I was looking at your 12-man roster, and this isn't really a waiver thing, but you brought up a trade request to one of the leagues. You were trying to move off T. Higgins. My question is, and this is kind of random, but with George Kittle being the fact that he has that growing injury and he might be out again at week 2. Against Seattle, do you try to at this point? I mean, George Kittle, he's too great. I mean, you're not going to drop him. I mean, you would either stash him or something. But my question is, do you move up? He's got an injury history now. He's hurt almost all last year. I mean, he was hurt half the year. Do you trade George Kittle? That's my
actually, honestly, I would. I mean, I don't really like Kittle off.
I don't either.
Too much.
I don't either.
I would get off. I would get off him if somebody wants him in the league. Yeah, most definitely. I would trade. I'd get off Kittle in heartbeat because I've never really been a fan of Kittle. Back in the day, maybe I was, but not so much now. I mean, I would trade. I mean, honestly, if anybody wants Kittle, I'll definitely trade him for a tight end for sure. Even a package trade with Kittle and freaking Higgins or something like that. I mean, I'm willing to trade. And I mean, I mean, I was kind of unhappy with the guys that I ended up getting, but I mean, I'm sure there's some guy that's, Kittle happy and wants Kittle. Most definitely, I would get off him. Couple of other guys, quick. What do you think? What do you think of Robbie Anderson?
Week 1 wonder. I don't trust him.
He was actually out there in 100% of the freaking
yeah, but
snaps.
that's wait and see. Trust me, man. I've seen enough Robbie Anderson the last 5 or 6 years where I'm like, he popped a few games with the Jets. He's popped a few games with the Panthers. If Robbie Anderson is still doing this week 6, then I'll be like, okay, him and Baker got something going on.
Okay, so
I give it. You know what? I'll give it one more week. If Robbie, I'm not sure if he's available. I'm pretty sure he's on most people's rosters on their bench, stashed away. Oh, he is available. Okay, I give it another week. I'm not going to put in a request for somebody like him. I give it another week and see what his usage rate is next week. They're playing not Cleveland, but who the hell are they playing?
Well, on Sleeper, he's 77% rostered. I'm not sure on Yahoo. I think he's a little bit less on Yahoo, possibly. I mean, it also depends too on deeper leagues too. So here's the other question: who would you want if you were able to? If both these guys were on waivers, would you take Robbie Anderson or Devin Duvernay over? Who would you if you had an opportunity with both those guys? Who would you go for? Who would you pick up?
Well, do I want to take a Luger or do I want to take a Glock? Yeah. I don't want either of them, but if you put a gun to my head, I'll take Robbie Anderson. Duvernay's younger and he's got potential for more upside, but I think he's a 1 week wonder. I can't tell you. I wish I would have had a whole list the last 10 years in the NFL of week 1 wonders. These guys pop week 1, we get seduced by them. We put in big waiver bids for them. We like, oh my God, I'm so smart. I'm smart. He's gonna save. He's my Sunday savior. He's gonna save my season. Yes. And then you get booty raped in the ass by this guy. So I'm but yeah, between the two, Robbie Anderson. So if that's a question some of these guys might have, take Robbie Anderson. He's a safer bet.
And that's where you can come in and compare and contrast. It's just like, well, do I want this guy or that guy? Which offense is going to be better? And Bateman is supposed to be the number 1 guy, and I'm sure with the matchup that Duvernay was just the guy getting all the pretty much catches and stuff like that. I mean, he caught 2 touchdowns, but I mean he only had 54 yards. Bateman was the one that actually, I think he had 70 odd. I think he had the 70 and something. I'm not sure offhand. I mean, I guess I can look here real quick. I know he had the better day at least. Anyways.
Yeah, no, I look at guys like that, and I look at Traylon Burks, like Wes in the 12-man league that you're in. Give a shout out to Wes. Speaking of Kesslers, hey, maybe he was involved in that fiasco last night too.
Yeah, who knows?
Wes, before week 1, he dropped Traylon Burks, which I thought it was ridiculous. I'm like, that's too early. When people are high on somebody, like the same thing I said about James Cook. It's like you don't cut bait this early. Okay, one bad game. I'm not that big of a fan of Pierce in Houston, so I'd be willing to cut bait with there's a difference between the two. James Cook has gotten rave reviews. He had one bad game. Sorry. Traylon Burks, you don't drop him. You don't trade him. You stash him. You let him develop, and then maybe later in the year, once they put in Willis, and they realize that Ryan Tannehill can't play, which he can't. This guy's a joke. This guy's a joke. They need to put Willis in now. Put Willis in now.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at the here.
People like drop Ryan Tannehill. There you go. There's another guy. Idiot.
Samuel's actually, Samuel looks like he's the very well added top guy. Robbie Anderson, pretty much second. Duvernay, Peoples-Jones. I wouldn't even go there. Corey Davis, maybe possibly because he was actually targeted a lot more. Carter, Shepard, I would. He's out there in a lot of leagues. Greg Dortch. Dorkich. I heard he was out there, but I'm not quite sure on that a little bit.
Of that list, Jamie, I think I hate to say it because I don't trust him because he gets hurt a lot. But Sterling Shepard, because I mean, if Sterling's healthy, he's at least the number 2, receiver in New York, and sometimes number 1. Sometimes, depending on the week, I mean, sometimes Sterling Shepard is their number 1 receiver.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's just if he could stay healthy, dude, he'd be a probably top 20 receiver at PPR. But he just can't. He can't stay healthy. But of that list of guys, yeah, Sterling Shepard, jump on him if you have to pick between those 5 or 6.
Yep. The other in running backs, we got Wilson, Burkhead, Deontay Hilliard, Jaron Moore, Drake. Yep. Yeah, Hilliard's the one that had a couple touchdowns.
See, I don't know yet. I don't mean to cut you out, but I don't know yet on Hilliard if that's a week 1 wonder or if that's because he had a few decent games last year filling in for Derrick Henry, like when Henry got hurt. So if you want to jump the gun on Hilliard, I'm not gonna because running backs are we're super thin at running back in all these leagues. So if you got to jump on a back, I totally understand. Receivers, I'm more wait and see. But running backs, I get you got to jump on them when you can. So if you want to go and get Hilliard, go for it.
But yeah, those were kind of the majority of some of these guys. I mean, Zach Moss, I wouldn't. Isaiah Payaco or Piku. He is someone. I mean, he's 31% rostered. If he's out there in some of your leagues, I would probably, I would maybe take a chance with him. If he was out there, who would you drop if you were looking at a guy like Isaiah with
if I'm being honest, nobody. I think CEH, Clyde Edwards, Halar. I think CEH is going to get a lot of action this year, dude. They moved out a bunch of backs this year. Williams, he's somewhere. I think he's in Atlanta or some Damian Williams. Some of these other guys that were kind of taking touches away from CEH last year when he, I don't know. I don't see it. I see a lot of passing. I see a huge year from Patrick Mahomes and the boys, his whole crew. Don't see a lot of running, but obviously to get where they want to go, they're gonna have to run the football eventually. But I think CEH, I don't even touch this guy. I think he's gonna fall, maybe 3 or 4 on the depth chart, and I don't think he's worth kicking the tires on. Hilliard, like I said, we just mentioned Hilliard would be a better bet in terms of running backs if you're trying to kick the tires on somebody to get somebody in that you might be able to. Rex Burkhead, kick the tires on, bring him in. The kid from Kansas City. No, I think CEH is going to be the main back this year.
Okay. Couple tight ends quick. Taysom Hill, OJ Howard, Hayden Hurst, and Logan Thomas is out there, and Will Disley. I'll just kind of give those top 5 guys. Out of those, if you needed help, is there anybody you like out of there?
Not at all. I was gonna say Logan Thomas, but because I thought Wentz, because Wentz, he's gonna move the ball around. Maybe it's a McLaurin Dotson thing. He just has 2 guys he likes, and then toss it off to Antonio Gibson in the backfield and kind of work with those 3 guys. But I thought Logan Thomas got the most upside of all of those. If that makes sense. Like I think he can, because Taysom Hill is going to be a gadget guy. You don't know what his usage rate is going to be per week. It's all about the matchup. Like if it's a good matchup, Taysom Hill, you can probably plug in there. I don't trust OJ Howard. Will Disley, he's like a second tight end. You might as well have Likely from Baltimore if you're going to go with a backup tight end, kicking the tires on. So of those, Logan Thomas or Taysom for, who you might want to look at.
What do you think? What do you think? What are your thoughts about Will Disley though? Both those.
I think he's mediocre, and I mean a dead clock is right twice a day, dude. Geno Smith had a career day against. I mean, for his standards, I mean the guy's garbage. He had a career day against Denver last night, and people are gonna start jumping to stuff and. Like, oh, no, Geno, like Seattle, watch, next week against San Francisco, they'll put up 3 points. Like, this is not a good football team. Like, I don't care what smoke and mirrors they pulled last night. And Will Disley, if anybody's going to get, some usage, it's going to be the running backs. It's going to be Penny. It's going to be Walker when he comes back. I mean, it's going to be a running football team. So I don't know.
So
Will Disley, I don't see it. And if I have to eat a plate of shit halfway through the year because Will Disley came out of nowhere, I mean, I've heard the name before, but yeah, no, I wouldn't go there.
You want to hear a quick funny stat here, quick?
Sure.
Will Disley had 347 or 3 for 43 yards and a touchdown, and Parkinson, their other tight end, had 2 receptions, 43 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, no.
That's hilarious.
That might be the only game Seattle, has 2 touchdowns on the offense. I mean, this is folks, don't let week 1 fool you. I'm not. This is not a good football. Maybe defense they're improved, but this is not a good football team, and they're not going to beat teams like Denver. I mean, it was a week 1. I mean, the Rams really that bad that they're 21 points worse than Buffalo? I don't think so. So it's just a week 1 deal. And these 2 tight end getting there. Will Disley getting one of his 3 touchdowns for the year. Golf clap.
Yeah.
There you go. Out of here. Get out of here.
Crazy.
Out of here.
All right. Well, what about
Pretty
some?
much
Let's see.
I was going to say, Jay, on defense, if Cleveland's defense is out there, go snatch them up. The Jets are anemic on offense. They're terrible. As Charles Barkley would say, they're terrible. As long as Zach Wilson's out, Jamie, and as long as they're starting Joe Flacco, I would take any defense I can get my hands on to play against Flacco, and until Breece Hall proves something. He's got a high upside, but until he proves something or the receivers step up, and the defense is mediocre, it's just not a good football team. So I would take Cleveland's defense if you're looking for a waiver start on that side of the ball.
How dare you?
How dare you say that about the Jets?
I did. You and your boy. What's his face? Elijah Moore. You have a hard on for that guy. He needs to step up. He needs to step up.
But yeah, I'll have to agree with you. Jets got to turn it around. Hopefully they'll get back. Hopefully they'll get Wilson back, and maybe I'll change a little bit. But a couple other, I guess. I'm trying to think of some. I'm trying to think here. If Washington's out there, maybe Washington against Detroit, possibly. I'm just trying to think of some of the other guys. Maybe New York against Carolina, but I'm hard saying on that one too. But if you really need a defense, Cleveland would be one. Maybe Washington against Detroit. I'm just trying to think of some other ones offhand. Depends on what's out there for, kind of streaming anyways. But Cleveland, Washington, one. I think that kind of covers everything for waiver stuff, I guess.
For players, at least, absolutely. But for like DFS purposes, if you're looking for a couple guys that might be a little cheaper this week, that you can try to. We'll get that in quick, and then we'll move to the next segment. But if you're looking for somebody a little cheaper that I think is going to have a monster week, Javonte Williams from Denver. Houston's defense is terrible. You saw what John Taylor did. John Taylor is great, but he ran all over the defense. I could see Javonte having. Between receiving and rushing, I can see Javonte having 130 total yards and a touchdown. And he's like the 12th rated running back this week. But if you're trying to piece together a DFS team, and then obviously he's going to be an automatic start in every league. Like nobody's going to bench him. But this is more for DFS, like looking for a cheaper running back. That's not up there with Dalvin Cook and Eckler and Taylor and those guys. Definitely go with Javonte Williams on Sunday.
Well, while we're at it, quick, let's pop up your.
What happened to Jared? What happened to Jared? Jared, where'd you go?
I think he left. He was tired of us. He was like, "Yeah, screw this."
These clowns.
Yeah. Go. Hop onto your Yahoo quick, and we'll recap our DFS lineup quick, and then hit the little shield up there, and then go down the leagues, and it'll pop up the Yahoo Cup. And then go to your I think it's schedule. Yep, hit schedule, and then you can pop up your team from last week.
All right. So we got
So
a $200
you want to go?
budget
Well,
for nine
pretty much.
players.
Okay, so who did you have for your lineup?
You know what? We're gonna set it as we go here, just for the
No, I'm
peeps.
talking about last week, not this week's.
I didn't.
What do you have?
Honestly, dude, I'll be honest with you. I didn't set one.
Yeah, you did. You said
no, I did not on this one. No, I set a DraftKings team. I didn't set.
no. You sent me one that you did on the Yahoo Cup.
No, it's well. Let's see.
Go down the league. Go where it says leagues.
Current rank. Yeah, no, I didn't submit one last week. But we'll do one. We'll do one.
Oh, I guess. Well, okay. We'll scratch that. Let's scratch that off. All right. Let's go and let's get into your Fab 3 quick. Well, the other quick thing, I guess I can bring this up here real quick. We'll do this here quick, and then we can get into your Fab 3 quick. So here's Eli. Here's your weekly studs. You were pretty much on Patrick Mahomes and Saquon Barkley for the week.
Yep, and they delivered.
Yeah, and then your duds were Matthew Stafford and Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, that's what people get for taking McCaffrey number 1 overall. He's not that dude. He's not that dude he was a few years ago, and there's always that risk for injury. And Stafford shit the bed. I don't see that happening a whole lot this year, but week it happens. Buffalo's got a great defense. It happens. Staff's gonna bounce back next week. And don't you idiots get any crazy thoughts about trading him or dropping him or something. Just stop. No bad thoughts. No bad juju. Just let me set my team here, man.
Well, you can do that off air. So actually, I just seen something here. Nope, wrong one. Where in the heck is it? Yeah, no, yeah, that's it. Boom. Oh, maybe he didn't. Oh,
I'm loving it.
There we go. Yeah. Alrighty.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
I know. I think Jared is actually trying to propose a trade to me. He's trying to trade away Ayukin for Hawkinson and Jerry Jeudy for Bearmouth.
He ain't getting Pat. He ain't getting Freiermuth. Hell no. Don't you do that.
I think he's a little jealous because Jerry Jeudy went off.
I think he is still.
And I don't know. That's kind of I don't know. I have to think about that trade. I don't know, man. Jerry Jeudy went off. I think you have to give me a little bit more for Jerry Jeudy.
You bet.
If I did that trade, if I look at it, I got Keenan Allen, Elijah Moore, and Jerry Jeudy. And I have a couple other, let's see. I got London and Christian Kirk. And then I got Tolbert. But, yeah. I don't know, Jared. I have to think about that.
You bet.
I think I knew it. He said he was jealous.
Jared!
But
damn you, Jared.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember. Do waivers actually run tonight in that league, or is it Wednesday night, Thursday? I can't remember offhand. Well, you can set your lineup. I'm not gonna do mine until Sunday morning.
Well, you know what? I'll get this in quick, and then I'll move to the Three's a Crowd segment. There's 3 games we got to get to, and then wrap this sumbitch up. So if you are doing a team. It's a Yahoo Cup that we do. We got a $200 budget, 9 total players. So this is just an example. It's like a mock lineup, and I'm actually going to submit this too. But so what you could get is I took Carson Wentz at quarterback. I took Cordero and John Taylor at running backs. I took Deontay Johnson, Sterling Shepard, and CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb, there's some good value on him this week. I know we were talking some smack there, but, I mean, he's cheap this week. pick him up. Bengals don't have the greatest defense, so I could see CD getting some looks. Tight end Kyle Pitts, flex player Jamar Chase, and then Cleveland on defense. This is a winning team right here. So that's what this is. So you want to copy that. You see that, Jared? You see that, Jared? Huh? Oh, you see that? Yeah, submit that,
All
Jared.
right.
There you go. All right, that's in there. I apologize about week 1, man. I don't know.
You're a moron. Jesus Christ! No, I thought you did send me because you like screenshotted me.
I thought I did too.
Yeah,
I did too. But maybe I didn't submit it. I don't know. Maybe I just was like, hey, look at my.
I know I'm gonna be doing a lot of. I know I'm gonna be doing a lot of waivers tonight at work while I'm at work. But so with here's another quick question. Then we'll get into your your free as a crowd.
Absolutely.
Keenan Allen might be out for a couple weeks, hamstring. So, so what would you guys? What would you do? Would you try to find somebody on the waiver wire to kind of cover him for a couple weeks, or what? I guess what would you want if you had Hill or if you had Allen on your team? What would you do?
I would hope that my bench was strong enough where I could put somebody in there. But if my bench is shit, which some of these people that don't know how to draft, they don't have a lot of depth. But so if I'm in that situation, I go and I go get Sterling Shepard, for example. Like Sterling, he's going to be healthy for at least first couple weeks. I don't trust him in week 12, but I mean, I don't know why you couldn't plug Sterling Shepard in. You can go get him right now. So somebody like Sterling Shepard, yeah, like if my bench was complete shit and I could plug and play, I would do something like that. But like I said, I would hope my bench is okay enough where I can, and maybe I even have Josh Palmer on my bench. Josh Palmer is the number was number. I think he was number 3 or number 4 with the Chargers, and he's going to move up the depth chart. So it's going to be Mike Williams and Palmer as likely the starting 2 receivers for the Chargers. So hope get out of here, Chad. Get out of here. Out of here.
So
that's what I do
Chad. What happened to all that talk about suggesting us for a podcast? I didn't hear any words on that, but no, it's all good. I'm just giving some
silence. Crickets. All right. So answer that. Now you need to answer this, Jamie. We need like the Three's Company theme song. Three's Company 2. Three's a crowd.
Find some of that stuff.
We did the Fab 5 last week. We're doing Three's a crowd this week. So we got 3 games. We'll break down a little bit here and then let everybody on their merry way. First game is Thursday night, Chargers and Chiefs, and starting line is 54, like over under 54 points, which we'll predict here, and then Chiefs are a 3.5 point favorite, and so in this matchup, for example, so I'd like to do all 3 of these matchups are broken down evenly, like I did, like okay, fantasy wise, who's the better quarterback. Who's the better running back, receiver, tight end, like everybody combined, and I use like the deciding factor. So for this matchup, I'm taking LA with the upset. I think the Chargers are going to go into Kansas City and win. I think that they're going to go over 54 points. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. They usually are whenever these 2 teams play. I think it's going to be like a 35-31. It's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be about 35-31. I think Chargers are going to win, and obviously, Mahomes barely is a better start over Herbert. The receivers, I go with the Chargers because Mike Williams and Palmer are better than what a lot of Kansas City has a receiver. Obviously, tight end. I mean, Travis Kelce is the best tight end in the league, so Travis Kelce would take the tight ends. Running backs, I would go once again with the Chargers because of Austin Eckler. The deciding factor was. I think Herbert is going to get the ball last. I think it's going to be like what it was in that playoff game last year between Buffalo and the Chiefs. I think whoever gets the ball last is going to win. I think Chargers get the ball last. Herbert's going to go on and score a touchdown, and that's how I came to my result. And San Diego's got a little bit better defense, so they're very evenly matched. I had the Chargers winning this. Them and Denver competing for the division title at the beginning of the year, so I'm very high on the Chargers. So, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
I think it's going to be very, like I mentioned, it's all right. Both these
be honest, Jamie. Be honest.
Both of these teams can put up points in a hurry if they really wanted to, and it's really going to come down to defense. I don't think the Chiefs' defense is probably that great. I'm gonna have to look into a lot of that stuff because I haven't had time to. But both these teams can, I know the Chiefs can score in an instant, and that's very, they done. I mean, just look what they did with the Cardinals. They actually put up a lot of freaking points. I mean, it's just that happened. But I do like Herbert. These guys both of these guys are gonna be putting up both their numbers. I mean, they're going to be in the 20 ranges for their points, anyways.
Yeah,
when it comes to running backs, I don't think they're going to be. I mean, there's going to be a lot of swing passes. I don't think a lot of these running backs are going to be seeing 100. They're not going to be seeing 100 yards at all. I mean, Eckler, I can see he could probably, if they're at the goal line, he'll probably get a touchdown or so. I mean, Edwards too, possibly, but I don't see any of these guys going over 100 yards.
Yeah, there won't be like 150. Yeah, there won't be like 150 games for these guys.
With especially Juju, he'll probably get 80 some odd yards. Hardman might get a touchdown up in there. MVS, I'm not sure. You could probably scratch Sky Moore and Watson in there.
MVS, more like CVS. He's a human pharmacy.
Hopefully now, Williams actually rebounds from the game he was just not even in. So hopefully with with the Allen being out, so hopefully maybe Herbert and Williams actually pair up, get a touchdown up in there. Palmer and Carter will be in there. They'll see their fair shares. That I know. I like to hope that the Chargers win. It's this game's gonna be very hard. But
Jared will have comedy tonight. The one line.
Yeah, more than likely. I'm not even here at all. What overall, I just think Everett, he'll get a couple of catches in there, but Kelsey, he'll be the target hog. Kelsey, and then Juju, and Hardman probably up in there. So those are kind of the three how I see it, anyways.
And then I think. Oh, go ahead, Jay.
I was just gonna say I'm just gonna go. Hopefully, I'm picking Chargers because they're at home.
I think the deciding factor, the two players to watch for that'll kind of decide the difference, and fantasy too. I think for the Chiefs, it's going to be Juju, and I think for the Chargers, it's actually going to be Josh Palmer. I think he needs to step up because Mike Williams is going to do his thing. I think Mike Williams is going to have a 100-yard game. I think he's going to have a bounce back. So it's up to Josh Palmer to come in and serve as a solid number two to help Herbert out, help the boys out. So we both got the Chargers. And are you going over or under 54?
Ooh, I think I'll take over on this one because they both of these teams can put up points. So I'm going to go over.
So we agree on that matchup. Second one we'll talk about Dolphins-Ravens, which is a Sunday noon game. It's actually I wasn't gonna. I mean, if you would have showed me the schedule like before the season, that'd be just something I would have flipped through. Like, yeah. But this is actually gonna be a damn good game. Dolphins looked. I know that New England's junk, but Dolphins look damn good. Dolphins look damn good week one. They both play bad teams, but I think these are two potential playoff teams here. Good early season matchup. Just kind of see where they stack up. Obviously, quarterback, you take Lamar over Tua. I mean, that's no question. Receivers, I like Miami's more. Obviously, Tyreek, Jalen Waddle. Running backs, I'll take Miami. Take Miami again. You got Chase Edmonds. Maybe we might see a Myles Gaskin sighting. Who knows? Maybe they'll go a little bit further down the depth chart. Raheem Mostert. And then tight ends. Oh, go ahead.
I don't know. I think it'd be Chase Edmonds more than likely. Maybe a little, Mustard in there, but
I like Mustard. You like Mustard?
I like Mustard, but here's a quick one.
Latter-day Commanders. Curtis Samuel. Preach, Father, preach.
Yes. Well, I mean, Chad, I know I'm going to be trying to nab up some Curtis Samuel. That's for damn sure. I mean, I put a couple claims in him in some leagues. I know it's with Washington being as the way they are. They're going to be tossing the ball around, and with Wentz looking the way he is, hey, why not?
Don't sleep on Wentz. I've been bringing him up all night. Do not sleep on Carson Wentz, especially against bad teams.
Well, I just think because he's back in his kind of his home division, I think he's gonna be causing some trouble.
Absolutely. Speaking of trouble, Mark Andrews. He's going to be plenty of trouble for the Dolphins defense. I think Mark Andrews has a monster game here. I'm talking 100 yards. I think it's going to be a lot of him. I think it's going to and Dobbins. I'm assuming he's still going to be out. Gus Edwards. I don't trust him. I mean, Baltimore is just. They have one running back, and his name's Lamar Jackson. That's the only running back they have. So if they're going to win this game, it's going to be through the air. Hitting Bateman. Maybe if Duvernay has a second good game in a row. A lot of Mark Andrews and Lamar just being Action Jackson doing his thing. But I'm actually going to take the Dolphins. Ravens are 3.5-point favorite, but I'm taking the Dolphins and I'm going to take the under. It's 43.5 points. I think it's going to be a low scoring defensive matchup. And I think the Dolphins are going to pull it out 20-13. I think Dolphins will cover and they're going to win. Jamie, elaborate a little more. Tell people what they should expect in this matchup.
Give me just a second. Well, first of all, Chase Edmonds. Yep, I like him. I'm sure they're going to be tossing the ball to him quite a bit. Hill's going to get his bottle. Either one of those two guys are going to be getting a touchdown. Either I think because Hill had a touchdown, I think they're going to at least Waddle's going to get open somehow. Waddle at least to get a touchdown on there. I don't really like any of the. Honestly, I don't like any of these guys for the running back from the Ravens at all, period. The only guy I could probably trust in this offense with the Ravens is Bateman and Duvernay and Andrews. That's it. That's all I can trust. Other than that, the rest of them are just shit crap. You can. I don't like them. I just honestly I don't like the Ravens at all. I don't like the Ravens. I'll diss on the Ravens all day long. They're just shit. I don't like their Lamar, he's all right, but he hasn't done anything.
They're not well. They're solid all around, but they're not great. They're not great in any one thing. I mean, the best thing you could say about him is Lamar, but he's not even as good as I don't think he's as good as Herbert. He's not as good, obviously not as good as Mahomes. A lot of these upper echelon guys. He's on that tier 2, but that's a lot to overcome when you're in a lost season for So we got the Dolphins there. We got the chart. So we got two road dogs winning, two underdogs winning. This last matchup, Monday Night Football. There's 2 games this week. I had to pick between the 2, but I don't want to talk about Ryan Tannehill. I just don't. I think he's hot. He's hot garbage. So we're talking about the Vikings and Eagles, which should be the second game of the 2.
Well, no, the crazy they announced on TV today that both games are going to be going at the same time. And
Perfect. I don't even have to watch. I don't have to watch the Titans then. I don't have to watch that idiot Ryan.
But hey, I guess I would. I mean, I guess I would want to watch both games actually. I mean, I want to be able to kind of dive a little bit more into Titans a little bit. I wouldn't mind seeing it, but I'm sure with that game. The Bills are going to win either way. So, I mean,
Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen.
Unless Derrick Henry puts up some numbers, other than that, that game's going to be trashy anyways. Tennessee's going to be 0-2. But this game's actually going to be interesting.
Very interesting. I'll cut Jimmy. Let me run over the stat line quick here. So, Eagles are a 2.5-point favorite. They're at home. It's over under 48.5 points. We know what kind of weapons the Vikings have. JJ is just, he's out of this world. He's probably the best receiver in football now. Dalvin Cook is healthy and cranking. They look great week 1 against the Pack. Your boy Irv Smith. Maybe Irv Smith has a big game. And on the flip side, Jalen Hurts looked great against Detroit. Doing his thing.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He looked great. That's for dang sure.
And I love that was a huge addition in the offseason. Another thing the Titans did wrong, they got rid of A.J. Brown. I love that A.J. Brown addition. That's put the Eagles over the top because we both know Devontae Smith is not a number 1 receiver, nor will he ever be. So you have a solid, clear-cut number 1 receiver now. You got a bunch of running backs. Eagles just throw it at you, man. You think it's Gainwell 1 down. It's Boston Scott another down. It's Miles Sanders who had a great game week 1. So I mean, it's all around. And Goddard's a really good tight end. I mean, these are two evenly matched teams. Defenses are about the same. So two evenly matched teams. It's I don't know where to go with this either. Just because they're the home team, my intuition is telling me the Eagles. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm going to go with the Vikings because I'm even a Cowboys fan. I always hate on the Eagles. I just don't like the Eagles backfield. Yeah, I don't like the Eagles backfield for one because they got pretty much a three-headed monster. You don't know who's going to get the damn ball. You got Sanders, Gainwell, and Boston Scott. So they're always going to kind of mix and match all those guys in between there. Pretty much Devontae Smith.
I was going to say it sounds like a lawyer firm. Gainwell, Scott, and Sanders.
Yeah. Hey, we just call them the Lawyer Three.
The Lawyer Three, yeah.
Yeah, we'll come up with a name with that for that. But I just don't like AJ Brown will more than likely be their kind of top guy. They'll be targeting quite a bit in that game. Devontae Smith was not even in the Detroit game at all. They didn't even look at him. So that part right there he'll be their second guy more than likely if they can get him going in. It just depends with the Vikings. I'm sure they'll try to get Smith the ball. I mean, he is a playmaker. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he was projected for about 12 fantasy points, but he didn't get zero, none. But in that Detroit game, Sanders was the lead back. Gainwell and Brent and Scott were that's kind of how that played out with the Eagles. So you could probably say, if Sanders doesn't get it done, Gainwell will come in there. These guys are just all dump off. He's like, oh,
yeah, Chad.
I had to look back quick on that because I was looking at if what the Smith did actually there, and
he's hating on Jalen. He's hating on Jalen. Yeah. He's a top 5. He's a top 5 PPR fantasy quarterback there, Jared. Oh, you like them apples?
But other than that, yeah. I think Smith will at least get a couple. Smith will actually he'll have maybe 40 yards in there, maybe a touchdown in there if they get closer to goal line. But I think AJ, he'll be the guy. He'll be the main guy. AJ will it'll be more of a shootout. I think AJ Brown will get he'll get a touchdown. Maybe Jefferson will get another touchdown have another touchdown. I just like the Vikings overall. They got Cooks. Their backfield is way better. Cooks, Madison. I like their running backs are 10 times better than the Eagles right now. I just like the Vikings overall.
Vikings are like a sleeper Super Bowl team. I don't think people realize how good they are. But
with this offense with the offense looking different than it is than previous years, I think that's going to be the key. I mean, if you think about, the Vikings totally just blew out the Packers like it was nothing, and the Packers are usually a good team, but this year not so much. No, this will be a good matchup between to see who comes out. But I'm hoping for the Vikings. I'm not an Eagles fan, but
I'm thinking that they put it at 48.5 because it's going to be about a 27-21 kind of game. So I'll go with the over here. I think they score a little bit more than that. I think it's 30-24 Philly. I think it's a close game. Eagles cover. So you got Minnesota, I got Philly. So that's the only thing we disagreed on. Yeah. So they'd be 3. We shit the bed week 1. We got a lot of junk there. This week we got three really good matchups. So look forward to all the.
I guess
look forward to Dallas getting beat down by Cincy. That's what I look forward to.
The other couple of games I would I'm going to probably keep an eye on here is the Niners Seahawks, just to see how Trey Lance does. I'm kind of even with that game being slop, I want to see how Trey Lance does actually on a field that's actually dry. And then the other game, I probably want to see how maybe Green Bay loses to the Bears. I mean, that was a fluke thing, So I'll probably watch that a little bit too. So I kind of a little bit on that. But yeah, it's kind of those other two games I'll probably keep kind of watch out a little bit. Tampa and the Saints is going to be a high scoring game, I think.
I think so too. Tampa didn't do much on offense in week 1, but they didn't have to. But to beat the Saints, you're going to have to put up at least 28.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be. I think that's going to be a game. I think that's going to be the game of the week for sure.
Game of the week.
That's just my
Yes.
opinion.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
But well, I think that kind of wraps up everything.
Covered a lot of stuff tonight. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully you guys get in your waiver claims for tonight, and hopefully you guys get the guys you want, and we're on to actually week 2.
Week two.
Yeah.
2 days
Yes.
away.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. Well,
Dude.
I gotta get some.
I'm losing it. Let's.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got some grub to get. I got to work soon, and I gotta get this crap downloaded, uploaded, and yeah. Hopefully I didn't. Hopefully I
We'll see.
wasn't echoing bad. So
Yeah. We had a robot effect going on Sunday, and that
yeah.
it worked so well. But no, we'll if you guys want to follow any of our league stuff, we'll be back Friday with some twin turbo TT12 and TT16. I'll do some previews of that and some more waiver stuff. See what's happened the last 3 days. So we'll do another episode Friday night, and then we'll be back doing this again next Tuesday for the flagship show. So we'll see you later.
Yep. Some of the guy. Well, we'll be back Friday night roughly, and from everybody on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, we will see all you guys Friday night. So, all right, from Jamie, and that's I don't know what your name is.
Yeah, I know what your name is.
We'll,
oddly enough,
but yeah, we'll catch you guys Friday. Later, guys.